Hello YouTube, this is Chester from STEM APKs. Welcome to another tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to continue where we left off in the last tutorial. As you remember, in the last tutorial, we created FIFOs or name pipes, and we were able to create, let me just do it so just to remind you, and for those of you who did not watch the tutorial, go and watch it because in order to understand this one, it will be good to go and listen to that other one and watch it. So basically what we did, we ran some code that we were able to open a pipe on locally on a local computer, and then we were able to do this. Hello Alice, hello Bob, and voila, it works. But this is locally and is using, as you remember, the IPC is using the interprocess communication via FIFOs. And if you watch the tutorial, you know what I'm talking about. In this tutorial, we're going to take it a step further. So instead of using the IPC, interprocess communication up on the OS at the OS level, we're going to be using TCP, which is at the network level. TCP is the same, is at the transport layer. And just in case you don't remember, application layer is HTTP, file transfer protocol, secure shell, SMTP, I forgot what that one is, TCP transfer protocol, UDP, uh, it doesn't matter. Ping, I know remember this is the ping, ARP, or the ARP tables, and then the link layer, the Ethernet, and the Wi-Fi. And if you don't remember, there's this nice page, Internet Protocol Suite, and it has all the protocols. And there they are: UDP, User Datagram Protocol, Secure Shell Protocol, ICMP, Internet Control Message Protocol, and TCP Transmission Control Protocol. Okay, that's what they see, control. So that's what we did in the last tutorial. And in this tutorial, we're going to talk to the network. We're going to do the same thing we did here, but we're going to be talking to our embedded system, or in this case, it's going to be a Raspberry Pi, which is in the same network, is in the same LAN and local area network, but we're going to be communicating, and the Alice and Bob will be communicating through the network, through the TCP protocol. So that could be in LAN, or it could be somewhere else. So once you're in the network, you're in the network. So that's what we're going to be doing. So let's get started. Because the first thing, if just in case you want to learn more, I mentioned it in my last tutorial. This is a great book. This is what we did in the last tutorials, pipes and FIFOs. In this tutorial, we're going to be doing more the sockets fundamentals. It's right here, TCP/IP, and he gets into detail. It was a great book, one of the best books when it comes to the programming interface for Linux. Okay, so let's get into the code, and I'm going to open cursor here. This one, I wrote two files, two code snippets. One I called it in the library, and I have it in here at the level of the source, at the level of the binary that holds all the stuff that we've been doing. So just remember it's right there. And we also have a network chat that does the one. It's only 21 lines of code, but this one is a little bit much longer. The reason I broke it up into two, that way we just put everything we need in at this level lib, and then add to just the main depending on what the tutorial is going to be about. So it's just easier. And I'm going to switch from cursor to VS Code because it's really annoying. Every time you point at something, it shows you. So it's very distracting. So I'm going to switch and go into VS Code, and let's just open it. And there's a lot of stuff on this cargo because I'm not even going to show you what I have here because that's a lot of other tutorials and I'm just going to confuse the hell out of you. So I just close everything. So just for this tutorial, you might need Chrono and you might need certain JSON if you don't have it already on your cargo toml. Remember that. This you already have if you've been doing the tutorials, but that's what my cargo toml file looks like. Just in case you want to know, if it's complaining that you don't have one of these crates, there they are. There's everything that you need is right there. Okay, so now let's get into the code. So let's open this one. This is the big one. Okay, so let's open this and let's go line by line. Some of these you already seen because we've been doing over and over again because we're using FLTK. We're getting all the graphical user interface library components. So let me do something here before I start because I can't see. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is going to be the app. We're going to bring all of these from the FLTK. App is the core application functionality. Button is the clickable button widget. These enums, these enumerations are color for setting widget colors, event for handling user interactions, frame type for widget border styles, key for keyboard input handling, and shortcut for shortcuts. By the way, I didn't show you what this code looks like. So I'm going to have it open so you get to see what it is. So that way I can show you as we go. I'm opening this one, and this is the server one. I'm running on the Mac, and now I'm going to go into my Raspberry Pi. I'm going to clear here, and these two are into my Raspberry Pi, as you can see. And let's make this bigger so you can see. And now we're going to go here, and now this is what is inside the Raspberry Pi, inside the source directory. This is what it has, the lib and the main, just like here. Lib and network chat, same thing. Okay, so the network chat is inside the binary directory. So if we do cd bin, oops, I'm in the wrong directory, that's why. And as you can see, there it is. Network chat is this one right there. Okay, and lib is this one right there at the same level from the binary directory. Not to confuse you. So I'm going to run the same command that I ran, and this is going to be cargo run binary from the binary directory, network chat, that's the name of the file, and client, and my IP address for the Mac, and then 8080 because we're doing it like a server client type of thing. And then on the other one, you saw what I did because I did it here. Same thing, sudo cargo run bin network, but instead of client, like here, I'm doing server. and then it's 000 because this is the server 8080. So that's exactly what's happening. So now I run it, and it did not like it because it was open before, so I have to close. Sometimes it does that because it's going through SSH. I have to do SSH with an X server for you to be able to watch, but sometimes it does not like it. So let's do it again. SSH, pi SSH into my pi password. Make it bigger. Let's make it a little bit bigger here. And then it's going to, I don't want to use this terminal because this, if I want to show you something, I don't want to have to be going back and forth. So cd rust, and then image transfer, and now we run it, and it should work. And it's running, but it's running on my other side there, so I gotta bring it here to my other screen, and there it is. This is coming from the Pi. This is from my Mac. This is my Pi. As you can see, this is the X quartz. It's using this here, right there, and the network chat client, and this one is using the server. So now it's got this nice graphical user interface, um, created by of FLTK, which is awesome, and lightweight. So now what I'm going to do is do same thing I did. Hello server. You see how fast it is? This is the network. This is not a pipe anymore through IPC. This is actually going over the network. And then you go hello client. And you see it's almost automatic. And that's the power of Rust on using TCP. And that's what we're going to be doing because this can be very handy for your applications. We're going to take this, now I'm doing text. In the next tutorial, more or less, we'll be doing images. It's going to go right into the application. But we got to do 2 dimensions first before we do 3 dimensions. We have to do text before we do images. So that's what we're doing. Okay, we continue with the code. So this is the enumerations for color, event, frame type, key, shortcut. Shortcut, that's why we need the shortcut, because we might do shortcuts for the stuff there. Frame is just a frame, static text, display widgets. Group, this is all for the pack type for the scroll and the scrolling type. You've seen me do that over and over again. It arranges the widgets, it specifies the pack orientation, it makes you a scrollable container. It defines the scroll direction, whether it's vertical, whether it's horizontal. This is all done through here. The input is the text input for the field widget. Menu bar, we have a menu, so this is what this menu bar is. Prelude is bringing all this stuff from FLTK, all the common FLTK traits that we're going to use. Text is the text buffer. We use the buffer for the storage, and we're using these two work together. You remember from my last tutorial. And the wrap mode also working in hand with everything else. Now, SERDI, we used this before. This is done to deserialize and to deserialize. And as you remember, if from a few tutorials ago, we're using SERDI for JSON serialization and for JSON deserialization. So that's what's happening there. Here from the standard library, we're bringing input, output, operations, read and write. This is the big one here. This is what creates, this is the equivalent in IPC of open options. Now we're bringing net from the standard library. So it listens and it has the TCP stream. Basically, it gives us all the network functionality that we're going to need. Here, the synchronization is atomic reference counting, I think that's what it stands for. This is just reference counting, and mutex is just makes everything play nice with the threads, because we're going to be spawning threads, so this makes sure that they play nice with each other. Time the duration, because we'll be using system time to keep timestamps, and duration when we do sleep and all the time related utilities. Here, that's our first enum. This is our regular chat messages, all the stuff that we need. The content, this is the message text. The timestamp is going to be the Unix timestamp in seconds. The status, we need the status because, as you can see, it's going to be letting you know that it was connected, it was disconnected. You need that status there. If there is an error, it's going to let you know. It's basically an error flag. The ping and the pong is basically, ping is connection health checks. Sometimes when you run something on a network, let's say you run teacharc, and you see all of these things going on, and some of them you're going to notice they're using different protocols, but some of them you're going to see that they are time to live. I don't see any. Sometimes you see them, they'll come up, and they're just, these are mostly acknowledgements. No, that's a quick, come on. Sometimes you get lucky, you see them right away. This is UDP quick. I'm looking for IMCP or something like that. But this is what that is. It's just letting you know. Oh, there, I think there's one. No, it's just letting you know that it's connected. Basically, there's a connection going on, so it checks to make sure that it's still connected, and connection health checks basically to make sure everything is happening. But you get my point. Here's the other set of enumerations, but basically for the message. And what it's doing here, it is all user interface message types. It's going to do the update, the display. Uh, this is what controls the new text to show in the chat. This is status bar date, connections lost, reconnecting, connected, all of these. We saw these, most of them from the last tutorial. Some of them are same. This is the implementation and the menu, where we add the menu that we see here, that menu. So it's clear chat history, save chat history. That's what that is right there. So that's the menu creation for all of them. This is the help file. This is the pack for all the scrolling and all of the pretty stuff. Right now, some stuff I don't have. They're not connected yet, but I will add it. And the buttons, I'm going fast because we already did this in the last tutorial, so you've seen this because we had the same FLTK chat boxes before. So I'm trying to get to stuff that you haven't seen before. These are the callbacks, the closures, just like we had before. It's going to save the history. This is what that does here when you save the chat history or clear the chat history. This is what's happening here. It's going to give a timestamp when you save it. This is the connection. This is where it's making sure that everything is where all the threads are spawned, they're connected, they're either listener, client, or server. This is where that is happening. So it's matching whether with the listener or is sending or receiving the input, output. This is all being done there. This is the window where with the messages for all the messages right here and the status for this thing right here. This is where that is done, where all the flags and it's changing the color. Like green is going to be color green, status connected, color red. If there is an error, it will turn red, and blue if is something if there is an error also. This is continuously running and until for more stuff. It's running right now, waiting for me to do something. That's what's happening. Here's establishing the connection, error handling. This is now running all of the callbacks for all the buttons. This is where every time you click on something, this is where the magic takes place. And I'm going fast because you've seen this. This is the event handling stuff for the events. The keys key up, key down. When you press something, when you take your mouse off, this is all being where the input handling basically. This is starts the receiver thread and spawning the thread for the closure, creating the timestamp for the chat message, error handling, keeping the display open until here it starts creating the errors, whether changing the errors, the label for the status, and basically it waits until the end until I close it. So if I close it now, it dies, right? Well, it doesn't die, it just exits cleanly. And that's basically what it does. And so it's a very nice chat box that you can do. And I'm going to add some nice stuff to it. Probably add a couple buttons. I'm using this for something else that I'm doing. You see the color? Now is status waiting for client because the connection was lost when I closed it. So if I try this again, it might change to green, but you'll have to wait for the next tutorial because this tutorial is already getting too long. So I'm going to end it here. But this is the end of this tutorial. If you like this tutorial, please click the like box, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time with another tutorial. Take care.